everyone. Welcome to the Self-Awareness Journey podcast. I'm Melissa Albers.
And I'm JJ Parker. This podcast is for seekers, seekers of happiness and joy, seekers of a centered approach to success in life, seekers of their true, authentic selves.
Get ready for some real talk on everything from anxiety, emotions, and habits to love, compassion, and forgiveness. We know you'll be challenged and enlightened by this conversation. We're so glad you're here. Let's dive in.
Okay, Melissa, you sent me a text about how to instantly feel better.
Right, and you gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah,
Usually,
a rare
rare thing you responded. I knew I was really onto something when you gave me the thumbs up almost immediately.
Almost immediately. Well, I thought it was really interesting because it's super simple. So this is just like a list of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 things. 8 things how to instantly feel better.
This is so awesome. I loved it too.
And I think we should riff on each one because as I looked at them, I'm like, oh, that's really interesting because these are common things that happen to us every single day.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes we just get stuck.
Yeah, I know.
On any one of these.
And by the way, isn't this an ugly graphic? Like if we ever did something with this, I'd want the graphic to be better. Basically looks like really spread out jelly bean colors. Yeah, good thing it's not a video
podcast and no one can see the ugly graphic. Okay, ready?
I'm ready. Go for it.
8 things. Number 1, how to instantly feel better.
Yes.
So I'm just going to tell you like the problem.
Yeah.
And then we can riff on how we're going to make ourselves feel better for each one of these problems.
Got it.
Ready?
Yes.
Overthinking. Does this happen to you?
I don't know a moment where that is not happening.
So we all overthink. We all sit there and spin on like some dumb thing over and over and over.
I know. It's so true.
So what do you do about that?
Well, if you're looking at our ugly colored graphic, it says to write.
Yep.
If you're overthinking, write. I love this idea. I've never, ever tried that idea while in the moment of a hyper overthinking time.
Why? Because you'd break the pencil?
Exactly. I'd run out of ink. You know how hard that is? I would run out of ink.
Well, I like the suggestion of if you're overthinking, write, which is the idea that your brain spins on something kind of until it has a place for it.
Yeah.
Right? And when I start to overthink, that's where I go, okay, where can I put this? Like, where else can I put this thought?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not, like, worried about forgetting about it or it's not left undone.
Right.
But it's got, like, a place. And on a piece of paper is a great place for that thought. Well,
I also think that the reason that I find that an appealing suggestion is because if you write it, you get it out. You get it out of your head. It's just out. It's like, I don't even care where it goes, but it just is out of your head. There's this, I'm trying to remember the name of the song. I can't remember it, but there was this lyric, and I've always loved the lyric, and I'm not going to get it exactly right because it was a rhymey thing, but it was like, it's 2 a.m. and I'm writing all these things down because they're threatening to take me down unless I do.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. And I was like, that is just kind of brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
To just get it out.
I use my notes pad, like, or my notes app on my phone a lot.
Yeah.
To just like write random things in there.
Yeah.
And it helps.
Huh.
You know, that definitely helps. Like,
okay. Oh, that's cool.
Like a few weeks ago, like my aunt passed away. And I was really trying to like, I don't know, I was really like thinking through all that.
Yeah.
And what I ended up doing was just writing a whole bunch of random sentences. It's like completely nonsensical. But it kind of helped me get process through that, and then I could just kind of move on. Yeah. And not, because I could tell I was starting to kind of like get stuck on repetitive thought patterns. I'm like, I got to get this somehow out of my brain.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. I think that's a great advice.
And I think the other thing I'll say about overthinking
Yeah.
is if you don't get a home for that thought or some closure on that thought, if you punt it, if you entertain yourself to death so you don't think about it, it's just going to come back.
Of course.
So at first I was like, overthinking, right? I was like, no, you could just watch TV. It's like, nope, that's just going to kick the can down the road.
It's so true. It just hangs in the shadows till it lurks in your closet.
Okay, we gotta get moving. We're spending way too much time.
Okay, overthinking, right. Next.
Done. Okay, next. Anxious or anxiety. Speaking of anxiety, I think we're getting late on this podcast. Let's get moving.
Let's take a moment and do what they're suggesting. No. No, if you're anxious, meditate.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, so I just did the thing, right? I'm like, I'm anxious, let's go faster.
Yes, you did.
That's
my God, you just did.
So to me, if I'm feeling anxious, I'm like, do more. Like, you want to know when I'm anxious? I am pacing or cleaning the house like a maniac.
Oh, yeah.
That's like my tell.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to know what and this is like an intentional thing. Like, you gotta really, if it's saying meditate if you're anxious. And what they don't mean is the Melissa Albers version of meditating, which is exactly what I did 3 days ago. So I was in this meditation challenge, 31-day challenge. And it was like, I don't know, day 28 or 29, something like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get this meditation in. It's 11:15 at night, and I forgot to do it. And I have a 28-day streak. I can't break my streak. And so what did I do? And I was driving, okay? I was driving. So I was meditating in the car while I was driving, just to say that I meditated and didn't break my streak. So how effective do you think that is?
I've heard of walking meditation. I have not heard of driving meditation. Sounds like a recipe for crashing your car.
Such a stupid, like how stupid. Anyway, I'm judging myself harshly.
This idea that if we're feeling anxious,
meditate.
Slow down, right?
Slow
to me,
down.
whether it's meditate,
quiet.
whatever it is, quiet, slow down.
Quiet your
right?
mind.
And there's this famous thing that says, if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate every day, you need to meditate for an hour.
Yes, I love that. It's so true.
Right.
True.
So anxiety is an interesting thing because there's a chemical response in our brain. Things just start really going fast and spinning, and we just really want to lean into all of that. And it feels opposite, but going slower is the antidote.
Yep. And training yourself to have that be your knee-jerk reaction when things get really anxiety-provoking. Is to have the knee-jerk reaction of going, oh, okay, I have to slow down.
Yep.
As opposed to, ah!
I know you feel this one, tired.
Yes, I slept like 2.5 hours last night. Oh, I love this one.
Nap. That's what you should do. You feel tired, you should nap. This is toddler level how to feel better. Yeah.
But it's so basic.
Yep. You know what I started doing?
What?
I literally started napping during the day.
Really?
It's awesome. Not every day, but okay, so I don't know when it was, maybe almost a year ago. Whatever, I had COVID.
Yeah.
Right? And it took me down. It was actually pretty rough.
Same.
Then for a couple weeks after I had COVID, I had to nap every day.
Yeah.
Right? So I kind of did because of that experience, I started kind of napping a little bit.
Yeah.
But a habit that kind of kept going was a couple times a week, midday, 3 o'clock, I'll go take a nap for an hour.
For an hour?
40 minutes, maybe an hour. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. I was worried it was going to mess up my sleep at night.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I get up really early, I'll go whatever. Yeah. Sometimes I'm up really early. And I found hey, that little nap bit just
refreshes.
Makes my evening way better.
Oh, that's actually really good. Yeah.
So, and I used to think I had to, power through it and whatever, and napping was soft or something, but it's actually making me way more productive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. This is an interesting one. Let's move to the next one. Sad.
What are you going to do about being sad?
Exercise.
Again, that's a simple, like, everyone's probably heard this. The thing about exercise and and how it affects your mood is that I think everybody in their brain, cognitively, logically, has heard, if exercise enhances your mood, it makes you happier.
Yes. Yeah. Right? It releases chemicals to do that.
Yeah. But no one looks forward to exercise.
No.
I mean, some people do, right? But for the majority of us, we're like, ugh, exercising. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I find this when I'm in every single week. I have like a scheduled time that I work out.
Yep.
Every week. I'm like, ugh, I don't want to go work out. Every single week. And this is like years and years.
I know.
With my personal trainer. And then every time after I'm done, I'm like, in a way better mood.
It.
So like, why can't I connect that from week to week? Every single week I don't want to do it. Every single week I'm glad I did it.
I think you're going to now, because we have this list that says that helps you instantly feel better, and it's so easy and so true. So if you're sad, getting up and moving and getting deep breaths and, changing the flow of your breathing, changing the flow of your movements. And I don't even think it has to be like a hardcore get out there and kill yourself. It's simply move your body.
It's unbelievably simple and also hard to do.
Yes.
Because when you're sad, you don't want to do it. That's kind of part of being sad, is you just don't really want to get up off the couch.
Right. Exactly.
So
you just want to put your head on your desk.
Yeah. So whatever tricks.
Don't ask me how I know this.
However you can trick yourself to moving.
Yeah.
That kind of moves into the next one.
Yeah.
If you're stressed, right?
Sad
and stressed are in the same ballpark, right? A lot of times.
Yeah, they can be.
They'll interchange with each other. Mm-hmm. So when you're stressed, you're worrying. Oh yeah, why were you up all late all last night?
Yeah, I was stressing out about work.
About how busy your month was.
I have so much going on. It's just
for
insane.
Everyone listening, Melissa way overcommitted at work.
Fire my scheduler.
To the point where she can't sleep.
Just for February. Just for the month of February.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Then it's okay.
Yeah.
The problem is I also...
Talk about lies we tell ourselves.
What I did to myself here is I overbooked on work, which I've done many, which I usually do. That's okay. However, I then booked 2 long weekends that backed right up to a bunch of travel for work. So it's my own doing.
Overcommitted to work, overcommitted on fun.
Yep.
Now you're stressed out, can't sleep.
Yep. So guess what I'm going to do? Because it's suggesting it, go for a walk.
Yeah.
If you're stressed, go for a walk. Now, interestingly, on that 31-day challenge that I did for meditation, every day it gave you some different idea to try for your own wellness. And then, the premise was that 31 days, you'll be able to choose 2 or 3 that you really like that you can, get into your daily routine. Stressed, going for a walk, there was one specific one about doing a meditation walk, but just getting outside, walking, even if you're going up and down your driveway, going around the block, doing whatever, it just changes the scenery. Yep. And when you change your scenery, it changes your mindset. It 100% does, even if you're not intentionally trying.
Yep. Yeah.
I really like that one.
Humans are very visual, environmental kind of beings, right? So even the act of having things pass you in your visual field is a stress reducer.
Yes, it changes the dynamic within your system.
So very fundamental, simple thing to do.
Yeah. So if you're stressed, go for a walk. Ooh.
This next one's interesting.
Yeah.
Angry. What are you going to do when you're angry?
This is saying, listen to music.
I think that's interesting because I only listen to Rage Against the Machine, which just makes me angrier.
I was going to say.
like death metal.
That's what I was going to say. I know you don't.
What kind of music?
Of course not. You listen to 90s rap music. Hello. Metal.
Well, I think that probably works for a lot of people. Just like they're angry and they just really want to just like express it. Do some really headbanging, hard rock.
Oh, or very zen spa music.
Oh, I see.
With pianos and water and rainfall on a tin roof and
well, to each
ocean.
their own.
And I like this idea because I think that when you're angry, you're hyper focused on a thing. Mm-hmm. You know. And to me, I'm assuming why they're saying listen to music. And I mean, I could be wrong, but it feels like when you listen to music, you have to be intentionally focused on something else. Like and you have to sort of decide what kind of music is going to feel right for you.
Yeah.
Right. So just that act, it's getting your mind off of what it's on and just moving it to something else with bringing in another sense, which is listening. Mm-hmm. You know, that brings in one of your five senses. That changes it.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a theme going on here. Is engaging the other senses.
Yeah,
right.
You're right.
Getting out of your head.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Okay, this next one.
Oh, this next one, boy, this is a real solution for the 2020s.
Yeah, it sure is.
So if you're feeling lazy, what are you going to do about feeling lazy?
What do most people do?
I don't know.
The exact opposite of what this is saying to do. So how to instantly feel better if you are lazy, reduce screen time.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm feeling lazy, all I want to do is sit around and look at my phone.
That's what people do. That's what everybody does.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you reach for it without even noticing you're doing it. Mm-hmm. So reducing that screen time, I really like that because, okay, you know what? I don't know if you've ever noticed, but have you ever sat on your phone just scrolling randomly for whatever amount of time, 10 minutes or whatever, and when you set the phone down, do you feel a certain energy in you? Because I have actually noticed that I have the same, it's a very, it feels very specific. Mm-hmm. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes.
You have?
So, well, I've noticed it. I mean, I noticed it enough that I deleted everything on my phone that has like an infinite scroll.
Yeah,
feed,
you were saying that.
Right? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, anything that I can like endlessly scroll on.
Yeah.
I deleted.
So
because
what's
because it's that. It's like there's this weird.
How would we describe it? It's a weird thing.
I think it all has to do with you get that hit, you get that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
When you're doing that scrolling action. It's like, who liked this? Who liked that? And you're getting these like mini dopamine hits.
Yeah.
And I like literally think it's a moment of like withdrawal. Like it's like you've come off the drug.
Yeah.
Except this withdrawal symptom is like within seconds.
It's instant.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Yeah, and I don't I don't have that feeling when I pick my phone up or even when I am just aimlessly looking, right? But I very much have a particular feeling that I've noticed as soon as I stop. Mm-hmm. And it's a little scary when you recognize it.
Yeah.
So I like this because it doesn't actually make you feel better. It makes you just feel like, oh, okay, now I got to go out. Now I got to join the real world. Oh, now I need to go do this. I mean, I'm being a little dramatic, but I mean, I think it's around that. So I like this idea of reduce your screen time when you feel lazy, because what most people do is the reverse.
Yep.
They think, well, I'm just going to lay here for 20 minutes and be on my phone.
Yeah. And we're using phone. I would say that this probably extends to
computers,
TV watching, and
and
just other sort of like passive entertainment things that are just there to like occupy your time.
Yeah. That's a good way to say that. Yep. And you're right. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's TV and Netflix and all the things. Like we can stream absolutely anything at any moment all the time now.
Yeah, I say this all the time, but this idea that we're entertaining ourselves to death.
Yeah, so
it's
true.
like we must have, did we talk about this? This was a thing a while ago. It's like there was a couple like science fiction books, and 1984 and
Oh yeah, George
what was
Orwell.
the other one? I'm gonna forget. But anyway, there's the idea that like in one book, the future was that the government was controlling everybody.
Yeah,
like through
that
kind
was
of like
1984.
Yep. And then the other book, people were like basically so jacked into entertainment that they were also being controlled, but not from like an oppressive perspective, but like they're self-selecting to be kind of controlled because all they did was sit around and like look at their phones and watch TV. Scary future.
Very scary future.
All right, last one.
Yes.
We have all felt this, I'm sure, at some point, which is burnout.
Yep. So if you're feeling burnt out,
Is
read.
burnt out the opposite of lazy?
No, I don't think it's
No.
the opposite, but I think that burnt out you would assume is a byproduct of doing too much.
Not doing too much, yeah. Overcommitting.
Overcommitting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you just did.
Yes.
You're feeling burnt out.
Precisely.
Look it, here is how to feel better instantly for Melissa. Right now. Go read something.
I'm so weird. This ain't my first rodeo.
So what about reading would help you feel less burned out? Because when I'm feeling burnt out, I'm so wrapped around the axle. I'm like, oh my God, I got like a million things to do. I'm super behind. If I don't do them, the world's going to come crashing down.
Yeah.
Everyone's relying on me. I do not feel like I have capacity to read.
Yeah, and I've noticed more and more people talk like that. I feel like for me, I love this because it takes your brain out of the current reality that's, when you get so strung out, and it brings you into more of a completely different world, whether it be, some kind of different fantasy or different circumstances. It's a story that's not yours. And I think that being able to get out of your story, even for a little while, is such great relief.
Okay. when I read as a solution, I'm like, yeah, okay, when I'm burnt out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some books about how to be higher productivity, a higher productivity book, right?
I'm going to read business books.
I'm going to read
business books. That'll make me feel so much better.
I'm going to read a book about becoming more productive. Okay, but you're saying actually read a book that's maybe a fiction book that transports you outside of what you're doing into a different reality for a little while.
Yep.
To help you get a bit of context about maybe why you're so burnt out.
Yeah. You know what I love about this list is like, we talk about stress all the time. We talk about, being more aware all the time. What I really like about this list is the specificity about the exact emotion that you have.
Right. So
I really like that.
Overthinking, write. Yeah. Anxious, meditate. Tired, nap. Sad, exercise. Stressed, go for a walk. Angry, listen to music. Lazy, reduce screen time. Burnt out, read.
Yes. I love it. I think
this is like elementary, stuff.
And yes,
it's like the basics, and it's so funny how the basics are sometimes so hard and so hard to remember and so hard to do,
and so beneficial when we do. It's not hard. What I also really like about this list is that literally it's just not hard. Basic doesn't mean dumb. Basic doesn't mean stupid. Basic means it really works. It really works, and I like that. And I have tried a number of these things, but I've never looked at them like this. I think intuitively we take care of ourselves in the way that we need to, and probably a lot of people will hear that list and go, yeah, I do half of that already. So even if it's just one new idea, I think it's great.
Yep. Super fun. I love a list.
We always love a good list.
Did you enjoy this episode? Please go to your favorite podcast platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review so others can discover it as well.
Growing self-awareness is a lifelong journey, and there's always further to go. And it's better when we're all in it together. Please think of someone you know who could benefit from hearing today's conversation and share this episode with them. We can't thank you enough for listening. Until next time, happy exploring, seekers.